Hello and welcome to another edition of Out of the Blue. I'm Mike Browning. In February, we brought you a behind-the-scenes look at the live performances of Paul's Fiddle music by big country stars at the Loveless Barn in Nashville. Now, at that time, PBS recorded a special show co-produced by Dr. Dale Cockrell, director of MTSU's Center for Popular Music and a scholar of the music in Laura Ingalls Wilder's book series, Little House on the Prairie. In June, PBS stations nationwide began airing the special and offering viewers an MTSU-produced documentary, The Making of Paul's Fiddle. Here's a promotional glimpse of the exclusive Paul's Fiddle documentary produced by MTSU students and professors.
This is a project that began in the most innocent possible way by reading to my 8-year-old son in bed. We picked up the Little House books, which I'd never read as a child. I started to notice that there's a great deal of music that's embedded in those books. Pa Ingalls was a fiddler, and they were often making music and singing music.
Her memories of this music were a road into her memories of being able to write the books. And I don't think that that's an aspect of the Little House books that people are really conscious about.
Some of the top recording artists now are going to give a shot to these great American songs.
As far as growing up and having my dad be who he was a huge influence on me. We always loved music, and it felt like family to me. It felt like home.
I know praise and worship songs, but I prefer songs with a little more meat, if you want to put it that way, and so this was one of those that I was happy to be doing here tonight.
These words that you can so easily let just roll off your tongue, they weren't as easy for one who may have sung it before you.
When you really go back and realize why they were singing these songs, it took them back home, it carried them home, even though they were at war and missing their families.
Just a taste of the documentary produced by MTSU students. A new CD, Paul's Fiddle American Fiddler, featuring a portion of the 127 songs mentioned in the Little House on the Prairie books, was released in stores in June to commemorate the PBS special. It's also available at paulsfiddle.com. On June 5th, the MTSU Department of Physics and Astronomy helped the community experience an event that won't occur again until the year 2117. The transit of Venus occurs when the planet crosses between Earth and the Sun, appearing like a black dot across the face of the Sun for a few hours. The transit on June 5th and 6th was the last one for the 21st century, but just one of many star parties held at the MTSU Observatory.
But this is something we do every month, except when school's out, like Christmas.
Right.
Whatever's visible, we show galaxies, we show planets. Venus is the third brightest object in the sky. The sun is the brightest, the moon is second, Venus is third. So human beings have always known of Venus because you can see it, it's just so bright. What humans may not have known all the time is what exactly are we looking at. To see the detail that we're seeing on the surface of the sun can only be accomplished with telescope technology. So the invention of telescope had to come along before this could happen. We're watching TV in the sun. Take your own TV at home outside, you can't really see it very well. This observatory we use at night mostly, but we're trying to push it to use in the daytime. The path that Venus takes around the sun doesn't lie in the same plane as Earth's orbit, which is to say that it doesn't really pass in front of the sun very frequently because for most of its orbit it's either above or below the same level as the sun. And as a result, it's just very, very rare. How old are you right now?
11.
You'll be 116. And when it does pass or enter what we call the ecliptic plane, where it lines up with the sun, the earth has to be in a particular sweet spot at the same time. So you have to synchronize two different periodic events to get that perfect alignment, and that's just very, very rare that occurs. There's definitely something to see, you guys. If you can't see it, just move to the front and see it. I really want you to see it. Other people behind you will be patient with you. They don't mind. Just come up and take a look.
Wow! Did you get a good look? You like the ripples from the heat around the sun. I like that.
What about the dot?
The dot looks really small and compared to the sun.
Do you know what the dot is?
Venus.
So check our website at the MTSU website for physics and astronomy, and you'll see our nighttime program. We've been doing it for years now, so be a part of that if you think this is really fun. We have more nighttime activities that are very, very similar.
So can you tell me what you think?
That's awesome to see. It's awesome to see. Never seen anything like it. As far as looking at the sun, never saw sunspots unless it's in a picture of a magazine or something like that.
You don't get very many opportunities to see this kind of event.
No, you don't. It's awesome.
What made you decide to come out?
Family. So hey, let's go. Hurry up and get up work and come on out. So every 100 years, I don't think I'll make it to the next one. So
this is better than a nighttime event because First Friday start parties, for a lot of people, they get home after a long week. So I don't feel like going anywhere. But this being in the middle of the day, or not middle of the day, but while it's still sunny out, I think it's made it a lot easier for folks. If you're having fun, if you think astronomy is a great way to spend an afternoon or an evening, 8 times during the academic school year, we do similar programs at night where we look at planets, galaxies, stars, and a variety of things.
The most recent transit of Venus was in 2004, as this rare alignment occurs each century in pairs, 8 years apart. Before this century, the last transit of Venus was in 1882. Again, the next transits occur in 2117 and 2125, so maybe your great-great-grandchildren will see it next time. From the heavens to the complexities of the human body, the man whose ingenuity helped make forensic anthropology dinner table conversation, Dr. William Bass, explained his so-called body farm at UT Knoxville to an MTSU audience. Bass recalled how the concept arose when he worked in Kansas in the late 1960s.
What happens today is the bad guys will buy a refrigerated truck or rent a refrigerated truck, and then we'll go out to these large ranches in western Kansas or Colorado or Oklahoma, Texas, wherever. Now they will butcher the cows right there, hang the meat up in the refrigerated trailers, and drive off. The police then begin to wonder how long have these carcasses been there. So I got a letter one day from Harold Nye, who was the director of the Kansas Bureau of Investigation at that time, asking me if I could tell how long a cow had been dead. Wrote him back and said, Harold, we really don't know the answer to this question, but if you could get a rancher to give me a cow and kill the cow, I will go look at that cow every day and begin to find out what happens when the cow decays. And I signed my name, and then I put a PS on the letter. I said, Harold, I really need a rancher to give me 4 cows. I need 1 spring, 1 summer, 1 fall, and 1 winter. The reason is that your major factor in decay is temperature. You decay much faster in the summer than you do in the winter. That was the beginning of the idea of a body farm.
Bass is considered one of the nation's foremost anthropologists. MTSU established the William M. Bass Legends in Forensic Science Lectureship in 2007 with the opening of the Forensic Institute for Research and Education, or FIRE. For more information on the Forensic Anthropology program at MTSU, visit mtsu.edu/fire. Well, the crime of human trafficking is a familiar one to the founder of Magdalene House and Thistle Farms. The Reverend Becca Stevens helps women recover from domestic violence, prostitution, and addiction.
10 years ago, we started a company called Thistle Farms, and that was all the women who come to Thistle Farms have come through Magdalene. So once they're on the journey of healing, it's a way for people to make money, to learn job skills, to learn how to use a computer. The women come to Magdalene and Thistle Farms usually from the streets or from the jail. And they come and they're part of our communities that are called Magdalene. We have 6 homes in Nashville with 28 women, and they come and stay for 2 years free.
I never stopped thinking that one day I would be clean and sober. that I would get my kids back, and that I'd have a social life, and that I could have a job. And this program, Magdalene, saved my life.
Stevens and Magdalene House graduates recently visited MTSU to sell their products and promote awareness and support services for abused women as part of Women's History Month. For more information, visit thistlefarms.org. We'll be right back.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, that took a little too late to come to suffer.
I am True Blue.
As a member
of this diverse community,
I am a valuable contributor
to its progress and success.
I am engaged in the life of this community.
I am a recipient
and a giver.
I am a listener
and a speaker.
I am honest in word and deed.
I am committed to reason, not violence.
I am a learner.
Now and forever.
I am a Blue Raider.
I am a Blue Raider.
I'm a Blue Raider.
True Blue.
This is not just a recording studio. This is not just a flight school.
This is not just a university.
This is MTSU, home of Tennessee's best.
The summer of 2012 edition of MTSU Magazine will reach the university's 100,000-strong alumni base this month. The magazine's cover story details the bright future for science education and research at MTSU, now that construction has begun on a new $147 million science building. Other stories include a closer look at MTSU's current $80 million capital campaign, a look at the return of the sport of wrestling to MTSU, and a glimpse into MTSU's efforts to reconnect with its international alumni base. The magazine also features a profile of MTSU scholar Dale Cockrell and his effort to bring to life the great American music enjoyed by Charles Paul Ingalls and embedded in the Little House on the Prairie books, written by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Cockrell's research led to a PBS special, a musical event captured at Nashville's Loveless Barn. Some of the most popular songs, such as Buffalo Gals and Old Dan Tucker, were part of the Pledge Drive special that began airing last month. Our camera was there when some of the biggest names in country music gathered earlier this year to record the music. On a clear January night, Music City's star-studded talent gathered on the stage of Loveless Barn to rekindle the songs that formed the foundations of 19th century American music.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, that took a little too late to come to suffer.
Ronnie Millsap and Randy Travis.
Old Dan Tucker was a fine little man, washed his face in the frying pan.
Rodney Atkins and Ashton Shepard. The Roys and Natalie Grant. Committed. All joining together to honor Charles Paul Ingalls and his beloved old-time fiddle music. Many Americans don't know the history of the man featured in Laura Ingalls Wilder's books and the Little House on the Prairie TV series, But musicologist Dr. Dale Cockrell has been intimately connected with the songs for more than a decade.
And to be in a family where you heard live music every day for probably a couple of hours every day. As Pa took up his fiddle and started playing, the family sang along. Must have imprinted itself on Laura Ingalls Wilder's brain in a way that's difficult for us to understand today. It's enormously gratifying. You know, I've been pushing this rock up the mountain now for 12 years or so, and it finally feels like we're at the top. It's enormously gratifying. And daunting, frankly. You know, as a musicologist, I'm not trained on how to get up on a stage in front of a PBS audience and communicate what I do as a scholar.
Yes, we'll rally round the flag.
Talented artists like Committed and many others have joined Dale Cockrell's work of pushing the rock up the mountain. So the old-time music can be appreciated and enjoyed for generations. The Pledge Drive concert, Paul's Fiddle, the Music of America, featuring the big-name artist and the history behind the music, has been airing on PBS stations nationwide. A new CD, Paul's Fiddle American Fiddler, is available at paulsfiddle.com.
I like the idea that kids are experts, that we don't have all the ideas. So we sat down with the kids and we said to them, hey, tell us about Patterson Park.
We started in 1911 with a clear mission to train Tennessee's best teachers. For the last 100 years, Middle Tennessee State University has carried out that mission and so much more. Nationally recognized as an affordable quality university, the #1 choice of undergraduates in Tennessee. As we celebrate our centennial, we look with pride at the past. We look forward to the future. Check out why we're Tennessee's best.
MTSU high jumper Ann Dudley placed 13th in the women's high jump at the 2012 NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Seen here, Dudley cleared the bar at 5 feet 10.5 inches to finish 13th. It was strong enough to earn her second team All-American honors and the best performance for a member of the Lady Raider track and field team. Blue Raider Justin Guidry has been named as a third-team All-American by the American Baseball Coaches Association. He is only the 6th Blue Raider in program history selected as an All-American after leading the Sun Belt with 87 hits this season. On a trip to the MTSU campus, you might encounter some rather unique vehicles made by engineering students. Since 2004, the MTSU Experimental Vehicle Program has produced a moon buggy, a mini Baja car, a solar-powered boat, and a Formula One racing team. We thought we'd show you a behind-the-scenes look at how these talented students go to work.
I'm Spencer Gottlieb. I'm one of the team members of the Formula SAE team at MTSU, and I do a lot of the CAD work and design. I designed the frame and the suspension on this car. We're going after a business model, more or less, of easy production for an actual race car. Jared came up with the idea of using all ATV parts because it was so expensive to produce these one-off pieces, and in doing so, we settled on Yamaha ATV parts.
My name is Darryl White, and I'm on the Formula SAE team, and I'm one of the co-captains, and we're trying to get this project done so that MTSU can get it up and running for the 2013 Formula SAE race.
Produce a car that will go fast and take a good beating because it is so robust. It's built for jumping. The frame isn't here anymore, but we took the frame completely apart and used as many pieces as we could.
It's a limited slip differential. So you know, when it's pulling forward, if you grab on here tight, it'll pull the wheel forward. But if you're going around a corner, the outside wheel has a longer way to travel, so it's going to want to travel faster. So you'll have to allow that wheel to spin at a different rate.
You can take it as a course, so you get credit hours for it as engineering technology, but it really is just extracurricular. I mean, I came in here, I knew how to turn a wrench and fix a couple things on like my vehicles, but I'd never made anything.
Of having it driving around the campus before the middle of August.
MTSU students took part in NASA's 19th annual moon buggy race in April and the Society of Automotive Engineers Formula competition at the Michigan International Speedway in May. The Mini Baja vehicle is competing across the country this summer. MTSU's experimental vehicle program is strong because of support from donors like Jeff Lane, the owner of Nashville's Lane Motor Museum, who was himself a Mini Baja competitor as a college student. Now he has a collection of more than 350 unique automobiles on display at his museum, where he has also showcased some of MTSU's experimental vehicles.
I mean, I went to Vanderbilt and did the Mini Baja program in a very rudimentary way, but it was a lot of fun and I learned a lot, and I think it was a great experience, and I think that's the great thing about the Mini Baja team is they actually have to put the car together, they have to work together, they have these deadlines, you know, they have to go out and test it and everything like that. So it's like a piece of the real world. That's why I support that, because I think it helps those people that go through that program. I think have a great advantage in the real world. Most of the cars that I kind of picked, I picked because they were technically interesting cars, or they were advanced cars for their time in terms of engineering features. The Tatra T87, you know, is one of the, probably in terms of, it's probably about the 10th classic car I bought. And it's really an advanced car because it was designed in 1934 in Czechoslovakia. It's got a V8 air-cooled engine in the rear, and it went 100 miles an hour, which was a huge feat for Czechoslovakia or anywhere in the world in that time. Yeah, the Davis, they made 16 of them, was a one-man Gary Davis's dream of after World War II starting a new car company. Three-wheeled, it was going to be very aerodynamic, one wheel in the front. It could turn around in the width of a road. It could do all these different kinds of things. Again, he had lots of claims for it. Got enough funding to make the 16 cars and then didn't get adequate funding to go into production. Technology, really all it is people. People say, okay, we need to do this and we need to develop this technology to serve this need. And so really it's people. Even if you go to electric, you still got to be able to fill the need for what the people need. And I don't think you're going to see any rapid changes. I think you're going to see a slow change from gas to electric. And I'm not sure that you're ever going to see gas disappear. You know, now it still is the most economical way to move yourself around. You know, someday down the road that's not going to be true, but that doesn't mean that, you know, on a fun day you've got a second car and you want to go out and blast around and hear the exhaust noise and stuff like that. I don't think gas cars are going to disappear.
Also this summer, MTSU art education students teamed up with youngsters from Bradley Academy to beautify a Patterson Park Community Center classroom. MTSU's art education program participates in community art projects to help teach the K-12 certified college students to learn how to teach art while also giving back to their community. The mural you're about to see made use of ideas from 4th and 5th grade students from Bradley Academy to paint a colorful picture of Patterson Park activities.
One of my goals as a professor is to have my students out in the community. So we do have lecture classes where we need to be on campus, but I also think it's really important to have that real world experience of being out in the community. And so this is a community art class where we go out to schools in a community center and we painted murals and done mosaic projects. So we worked with the children, the 4th and 5th grade students at Bradley Academy, and we started with their art club.
It's been a little stressful because, you know, we did an entire room in 7 days, and to get the level of quality that we want, it just takes a lot of discipline. But the kids that we've been working with have been so great.
It's been a complete blast. I've had a lot of fun in this class. The people that I'm in this class with are fabulous. We're a family. We get along really well. The project took a really long time, but it was totally worth it.
I like the idea that kids are experts, that we don't have all the ideas. So we sat down with the kids and we said to them, hey, tell us about Patterson Park. What do you do here? What goes on? Because their school in particular, they're right next door, so they get to walk over and have opportunities that other kids don't have. They have a swimming pool right next door, or basketball courts. We talked to the employees here and we said, well, tell us about this place. And so the grounds itself were historic because it was an African American fairground where women would bake pies, people would sell agriculture, and then we also have the sense of music in the community and just having that sense of being outdoors and enjoying ourselves as a community.
I've actually done lots of murals before, but so far this has been the most organized and probably one of the most fun murals that I've done. We did mosaics with the kids, which was really fun and interesting because it allowed the kids to, you know, really use their bodies and get into it, because we had to smash tiles and cut them and place them in the right way.
Starting with our first class, Introduction to Art Ed, our program has kids, our students out in schools. They get to see the different levels. And at the end of each class that they take with us, they're out teaching in a classroom situation. At the end of this class, they're going to take great pictures and it's going to go in their portfolios, and it's something that they can present to a principal. And that's where our students have been so successful in getting these jobs, is because they just have beautiful work to show and they have the skills.
For more information on MTSU News, be sure to go to mtsunews.com. That's it for this edition of Out of the Blue. Until next time, True Blue.
Join us in celebrating 100 years of MTSU history. Check out the Centennial Timeline at mtsu.edu/centennial.